at the Open Mobile Summit. We're pleased to be joined by Kunal Malik. He is the Chief Technology Officer with the San Francisco 49ers football team in the National Football League. And thanks so much for joining us, Kunal.
My pleasure.
Now, just tell us briefly what your role is with the football team.
So my role, and I joined about a year and a half, so I joined the beginning of the 2012 season. And my role is to deliver technology and experience for the new stadium in a way that it really creates fan engagement, and it delivers that experience that fans really want.
And for those who don't know, tell us where the stadium is and when the first kickoff will be there.
So the stadium is opening the 2014 season. First game is August 2nd, which is not a football game, but that's the opening. And we will play a regular season game for the 2014 season at the new stadium.
All right. And of course, being so close to Silicon Valley, I think a lot of people would not be surprised that this will be, the first truly connected stadium when it comes online? Or is that true?
So we worked really hard, and there's a number of, I can't take credit for this, so there's a number of teams in technology that work day in, day out to make sure that that happens. On the connectivity side, we have a lot of different ideas and plans that we're putting in place, some of which we have tested during the Candlestick era. And we're going to bring,
which is where
the
you're
learning.
Playing now.
Yeah, we're going to bring that. We're going to bring that experience into the new stadium. We've thought about capacity. We've thought about concurrency. We've thought about connectivity, both Wi-Fi and DAS, and that is absolutely essential.
How many people are we talking about in the stadium on a full Sunday?
70,000. So we're looking to build 70,000 individualized experiences.
And this, of course, in the background here, and maybe not trouble at the highest levels yet anyway, are a loss of interest by some of the younger fans out there in sports in general, not for the 49ers maybe or the NFL, but something that you're aware of as demographics go in keeping the younger fan engaged. How are you doing that? I mean, obviously people talk about mobile as the second screen. Obviously that's part of the experience you're offering is the Wi-Fi connectivity in the stadium.
When you look at mobile, I think the demographics kind of span across every age. It is absolutely essential to engage all the demographics, and mobile is the center of innovation right now. We have focused really hard on making sure that we're building a mobile platform that, one, integrates the entire technology stack or ecosystem, if you will, in the stadium and that surrounds the stadium, so that, one, we can create this individualized experience. Second is, we're trying to build this user experience that really appeals to all these demographics. Because if you look at the evolution that's happened in the living room, the in-venue experience, the in-stadium experience hasn't seen that.
That's right.
And we're betting big on mobile.
Yeah, because that's one of the trends against you right now. I mean, for some people maybe it's expensive, or maybe they don't live close to the market, but they can sit at home and they've got the flat screens and they've got all these wonderful experiences that didn't exist 10, 20 years ago, but now you're looking to entice them to, well, for you to stay in the stadium, but maybe for other teams, they're looking to get them to come to the stadium and feel that way there. Is that sort of the bottom line?
Yeah, and I think fans have begun to expect it. They expect that experience should be there. They're seeing that in their living room, so why not the stadium? What's wrong with stadiums that they can't do this? So I think they're questioning that.
What's the biggest hurdle to providing that?
I think there's a lot of hurdles. I think the first hurdle is really connectivity. It comes down to getting Wi-Fi that works so that this technology, it's going from you have dial-up and you're going from dial-up to broadband. So you need to get that broadband connection if you want to use this rich content, because on dial-up that content doesn't really work. That's one. And I think second is, once you have that broadband, now what? Now you need that experience. Game is the hero. You came to watch the game. So people looking for that experience using their mobile devices so they can see that replay, or they can order food using their mobile device,
right,
or be able to just get that integrated experience so that they are getting what they want from both tangible experience and intangible experience.
So never mind it's 70,000 people, but you also have a changing climate as well. I mean, you've got a lot of factors involved, particularly in San Francisco where the weather can change so quickly. How do you guys adjust for all the different variables? I mean, and that must have proved to be a pretty tall order as well.
So I can tell you there's no secret sauce. And the best thing we can do is learn as much as we can from this season. So we play games and we learn at each game, and we test the ideas we have in different environments. So this season we've been testing and prototyping different solutions, and we try them out, and then we found that for sunlight there are certain issues with mobile devices UI, and we're trying to optimize and make sure that those kind of factors, raining, the fact that you're in a stadium and it's loud, your attention span on something like a mobile device is going to be, very limited and focused,
right.
And you want to do what you want to do really quickly and then go back to the game.
Yeah.
So taking all those considerations and learning from them, it's all through experience. I cannot recreate 70,000 fans, standing up in their seats, jumping at their, highest pitch, and it's raining. What is the mobile experience going to be like, and what are the issues I might deal with Wi-Fi because everybody's standing, and what interference going to happen between sort of the sound being generated through fans and the stadium sound? Like, how do you simulate that? So the only way that I know is you go test it when you have a game, and we've taken advantage of this season to learn as much as we can.
It must also be a luxury for you because you have a brand new stadium. It's going to be state of the art. Compared to other teams, the LA Dodgers spending a lot in baseball to retrofit Dodger Stadium, it's a much older complex. So clearly it's a little bit of an advantage, I would imagine. And also, are you sort of building this out so that you can add on to it? I mean, who knows what's going to come down the pike in 5-10 years?
Yeah, and I think the way to look at it is that you want to build a software-defined stadium, not a hardware. We've seen that investment in hardware doesn't really scale over time and it doesn't last longer. Sure, you can buy a massive video board that is, huge, the biggest video board possible, but how long will that last? How many years before that's outdated? And how much money can you keep pumping into that type of technology to keep it fresh? So the way we're thinking about it is that we want to build software in a way that it scales, that it lasts, and it has to be software-defined versus hardware-defined. So as changes in, needs evolve, that we can push that functionality by adding more lines of code or creating these features and then being able to deliver those features to fans.
So how does a team look to monetize some of these new features? I mean, clearly it's going to be an added expense that sort of comes to the territory now. You're building a new house, you want it to be state of the art, but how do the 49ers, do they look to reap any of this back? Maybe advertising or something on a unique in-house or in-stadium network?
So first of all, if you look at the season tickets for the new stadium, they aren't inexpensive. And fans are expecting that this experience exists. So I think we're at the baseline of delivering that. I think the revenue kind of follows the fan experience. If you can deliver something that creates engagement, there's lots of opportunities to increase per caps. One of them could be through sales of in-stadium merchandise or in-stadium food and bev. And creating that engagement and delivering that experience will help, across the board. So that's just one of many ideas that we're exploring.
And what about, you have competition from some of your partners as well. I mean, the networks have their own apps and they're trying to keep the eyeballs there versus, in your 49ers app, although they may not be able to show maybe the instantaneous replay on demand that maybe you guys would be offering. And would you be able to offer that?
So, the network apps and a lot of the apps are trying to boil the ocean. They're not just building the 49er app. They're building football and, they're building NBA. They're building all
right.
sports. And if you go to these meta apps, the experience is kind of, one size fits all. We want to go big or go home. This is you're in the stadium and we're building an in-venue experience. We have the home field advantage because one, we've integrated this technology stack. And we're the ones who implemented that technology stack and some of the partners that we're leveraging. So we can bring that experience in one app where your mobile tickets could be paperless, your tickets could be paperless on your mobile device. It could, everything from experiences around food and bev and merchandise and having all that wrapped up into a mobile application. We already have the home field advantage. What we need to do is go really big with this opportunity because we have the ability to do it. As far as video and other content, obviously there are certain rules and regulations we follow in terms of getting permission, and we have to ensure that we have the rights. For whatever we have rights, we will deliver that content. It may be video, audio, or text. We've built that technology platform to bring it real time as much as possible, to reduce the latency and give it to our fans.
So I could sort of see where I'm sitting there watching the game. Frank Gore scores a touchdown. He's on my fantasy team, and I want to send that, to the guy I'm playing and show him, hey, look, not only did my guy score, but I'm here watching him and I'm celebrating. Is this the kind of fan experience that you're looking to deliver?
That's the dream. That's exactly the dream, that we can deliver that fan experience, that we can bring that integrated experience together where you can experience that play again and be able to also get the additional information you need.
What sort of price tag are we looking at? I mean, in terms of adding it to versus not having it, maybe not in a dollar amount, but did it add an extra 20% to the cost of stadium, or is that something that you guys have broken out?
So we haven't broken that out separately. We had made a bigger investment in technology, and I think this comes from the family. I mean, the York family has been so focused on making sure that vision, and they've been behind this, and I can't tell you enough, like Jed York believes in this technology vision, and because he has that strong vision, we've been able to get the opportunity to invent and build this platform. So in terms of like cost, we've already factored that in. It's compared to the humongous costs that go into the stadium,
right?
Which span from tens of hundreds of millions of dollars depending on how much you're spending. This is a very small fraction,
but very high profile.
Very high profile, and we're lucky to be in Silicon Valley because we have talent pools that know how to do this. And we've hired engineers and other team members who have been there, done that in other really important innovations that have come from Silicon Valley. So having that talent pool, we can do this in a nimble manner. We can do it with a few, let's call them ninjas, versus having huge armies of engineers. So we can do it with a lesser number of people in a more agile and flexible way and deliver this in time for the new stadium.
And just the opposite side, while fan engagement seems to be the primary motive, is there also some kind of team advantage that you can use from all this technology? Sabermetrics is all the rage in baseball. Is there some way to use this technology to help the team in scouting or in reviewing the game versus only watching video? Are they able to use it in some other way?
So I look at that as two different things. So fan experience, the technology stack, is different from when you look at scouting or when you look at the playbooks. And fortunately, this is one of those things where guys like me and my colleagues who are at the 49ers working in the technology team, we're huge 49er fans. So when we get a chance to work on a technology that helps the players and coaches, we get so excited. So we've, one of my colleagues built a playbook for the team that is being used. We have co-developed a scouting application with SAP, partnering really strongly with them in delivering that. And it's done in a way that really captures the essence of how a football team needs to do scouting. So it's the vision that comes from the 49ers, and we have the brilliant minds of SAP working with us in tandem in building this out. So absolutely, we love those problems, and whenever something like that shows up, we go after it.
So it could give a whole new meaning to home field advantage, perhaps.
Perhaps. I mean, the secret sauce is really with the team and how they execute the process, not as much as technology. So all we're trying to do is deliver technology that enables that secret sauce process. And the secret sauce process really, comes with our general manager and his team that make all the decisions along with our head coach. So they have the secret sauce. I wouldn't take any credit for that. All I'm trying to do is give them a platform where they can use that information and access it easily and enables the process that they follow.
All right. Well, Kunal, thanks very much for the San Francisco 49ers for joining us here at the Open Mobile Summit.
Thank you. My pleasure.